broken mirrors, broken glass. I'm picking up the pieces of my broken past, and I'm standing at the grave of my father's name, cause I pray to God, no, I don't wanna be the same. So I see the tide rise inside your eyes. I fight against the current, but it just won't die. And through the heartache, I'll find redemption and change the fate of my reflection. It's 3 in the morning, and I don't know where I'm going. I think my mind's been stolen. I think my mind's been stolen. We all live in a house of mirrors, running from myself, but there's nowhere to hide. I like to think I look like a hero, but all I see is a child that's terrified. The numbers on the clock don't last. My reflection don't reflect my past. We can't hide in a house of mirrors unless you break the glass. The person that I used to be is just a memory. One look at me and all you'll see is just the enemy. And who you pictured I would be, I guess we'll never see. My dreams, well, they can rest in peace. I guess it's just my destiny. It's 3 in the morning. I think my mind's been stolen, cause the frame is golden, but the glass is broken. We all live in a house of mirrors, running from myself, but there's nowhere to hide. I like to think I look like a hero, but all I see is a child that's terrified. The numbers on the clock don't last. My reflection don't reflect my past. We can't hide in a house of mirrors unless you break the glass. I'm trying to make my way through broken glass, picking up the pieces of the past. I don't wanna see what shadows cast when I look back. We all live in a house of mirrors, running from myself, but there's nowhere to hide. I like to think I look like a hero, but all I see is a child that's terrified. The numbers on the clock don't last. My reflection don't reflect my past. We can't hide in a house of mirrors unless you break the glass.
Tony calls.
See, I'm back on my. See, I'm back on my bullshit. Ayy, see, I'm back on my bullshit. Came a long way from school, bitch. We them niggas been banging and walking with full clips. Pocket filled with them blue strips. All I hang with the solid, can't fuck with no loose lips. If he ran, cut him loose quick. If a fuck nigga try, bet his ass make the news quick. Hit his ass with these blue tips. But these niggas won't shoot shit. Cause these peons ain't stepping how my niggas stepping. Walk them down, but that teach them a lesson. I been kicking shit cool and got paper like Messi. Bitch, I'm Zion, yo old nigga red. She say that she love how my big ass be dressing. How that Audemars go with that neck. My features are dub, my shoulders is a blessing. I got paper, ain't.
De esta manera yo creo que va a estar bastante incómoda para él y voy a estar listo para que cuando me dé ese pasecito. Un buen toque de parte de ese.
What was it showing?
You gotta close it. Close it with the eyeball. This is Citrus's first time producing, so just give him, you know, a little bit of lenience, leeway.
Midwest Mafia production.
I need to turn Grande up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I'm gonna turn Fox up a little bit too. I'm gonna turn everybody up real loud.
Yo. Could have totally done sound checks before we went live, but you know what?
Probably
we're
should have.
learning on the fly. No, we're learning on the fly.
Oh, now you guys are way too loud. I think it's just quiet in my headset. Alright, we're good. Say something?
Dylan, how's my audio?
Alright, wait for everybody to get out of the ads quick, bro, I guess.
It did another ads?
Tony said he's in ads as soon as this scene switched.
Wait. Well, that to me just Tony was late
Yeah, it was.
because we all had our ads way beforehand.
Do you not have
said-
noise compression?
Santi only cares that he can see us. We need to get Santi
Yeah,
on
we
here.
see-
for
we see
first
Santi.
interview.
Alright, so first things first, welcome everybody to the Midwest Mafia podcast. I'm Citrus, as you guys know, the owner of Midwest Mafia. I'm joined here by Fox, everybody's lovely caster that casts everybody's games and competitor for Storm Syndicate. And below me, we got Grande, who I consider co-owner of Midwest Mafia, one of the owners of Midwest Mafia, plays for the Mud Bugs, helps me out with the female South American team who you guys will hear about shortly. Yeah, Fox, you want to introduce yourself a little bit? I already did though, but you want to say hi to the folks?
Yeah, everybody basically knows me by now, but if you don't, for Midwest Mafia, give me 1 second.
I'll do his introduction for him. You guys see that?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
No, we're good. I'm back. I had to close out the background noise, but do a little casting, do a little producing, do a little Rocket League playing. I enjoy Rocket League, so other than that, meteorologist, and yeah, that's me. So,
Grande, you want to say hello to our fellow viewers real quick? Put a face to the name, a voice to the face.
Grande huevos. I am just a player. That's it. I don't do any casting, nothing cool.
there's way
I'm-
more to Grande than that.
That's true. I'm kind of co-owner, I guess, of Midwest Mafia and Dino. But other than that, I play on a team with Santi and Orbit. We are the Mud Bugs. Mud Bugs for life. We're actually spitballing the idea at Worlds of getting a Mud Bug tattoo.
If you get a mud bug tattoo, I will get
We're thinking about it, bro.
I'll get some type of tattoo with you while we're down there in Texas.
Yeah, here's the thing: is you got to be a Mud Bug to get the Mud Bug tattoo.
I'm not gonna get that, so I'll just get some type of tattoo.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't let you get it anyway. If you wanted to.
I own mud bugs, so. Alright, looks like we got Caffeine in the chat. Looks like we got Dylan in this bitch, Tony, everybody, welcome to stopping by. I think the first thing we should do, since Caffeine is here, we should talk about this female South American team with Caffeine, who is NA. But, so they did RLC, they did a few tournaments over the last few weeks for us. They did RLCS, South America tournament, they did the Kurt Mixo, they did the Phoenix Women's Cup. They did somewhat fairly decent in the RLCS. They almost made it to day 2. They were like 2 games away. Kind of got on last minute. The girls kind of forgot what time the tournament started. And, you know, they just didn't get enough warming up. They probably could have made day 2 if they would have got some warming up. But... And then in the Kurt Mixo, it was a 2v2 tournament, which was... That's my bad. I was trying to go chat stat. I should stop doing that. But so it was a pro female player from South America with a pro male or semi-pro, like 2,000 plus MMR. And so Laura ended up winning that, I do believe, with her teammate, if I recall correctly.
Citrus, your chat has informed you the music is slightly too loud for our voices.
Oh my god. I can barely hear it, so we'll turn it way down then. Oh, it was
Well, that was
silly.
Dylan, and then Owen actually highlighted his message. He used his channel points to highlight this message, so he wanted to convey enough importance that he spent his mob boss citrus points. So
Owen, I love
W.
you.
Owen.
W. Owen.
Oh, it was Sully who won the tournament, by the way. I thought it was Laura, my bad. But it was Sully who ended up winning. Sully is cracked out of her mind. I have a little clip here, a little clip highlight video from the Kurt Mixo with our females and their teammates. So everybody here want to take a little look at this here?
Let's peep it.
Ya que veo la situación de esta manera, yo creo que va a estar
we're not
bastante
gonna
cómoda
get this
para
in
él.
real
Y voy a estar
time,
listo para que cuando me dé ese pasecito. Buen toque de parte de Easy.
I know that
Esto
first
es
clip
match
is
point,
easy,
sí,
that
los
was a
cuartos
match.
son mejores de 3,
Ay, ay, ay.
semifinales mejores de 5. Buen pase, Sol le revienta encima.
Acá y recordemos que eso es el mejor de 3, o sea que ya ahora es todo o nada y no.
A lot of them are-
You gotta love it. You gotta love the
Sale
Portuguese
cuando
casting,
se
the
adelante,
hype. I
supera
mean,
a
you know,
Cafeín,
these
esto puede
are.
ser, Bambino tiene que llegar
It's
a
an
Sol con el
exciting
disparo,
team to have
no
here
la
for
vio.
Mafia.
Pasó ahí. Estaba
de Reca, no sé si fue un
Super-
regalo atrasado
I
de
can't
Bambi
say
o un
so.
regalo adelantado. ¡Ojo con Sully!
Caffeine and Sully were clipping on each
Un
other.
time cualquier,
every time
pero
they
mira,
play each
aquí
other.
Reca nuevamente va con el balón, le hace el pase a Sully. ¡Qué cañonazo!
Speaking of,
¡Qué
the clip on
disparo!
it,
¡Qué
Caffeine
zapatazo!
dunking Sully
¿Sabes?
right there.
Eso ni siquiera
The
ahora,
clip
25
size
segundos.
is
Podemos irnos
a
a otro
little
overtime como nos
bit
vimos en el
troublesome. I
partido.
mean, it's a
Eso
small
va,
clip for
esto
so
no
much hype,
porquería,
but
pero ya no se esperaba de
it's not
parte de
bad.
Lara. Subestimó a la...
Here we go.
they're casting in Spanish. Oh, it was a Spanish cast. That's right. I'm so used to Portuguese with South American Rocket League recently that everything is basically Portuguese to me now. I am becoming slowly Portuguese.
And then they played, after that, just recently, just this past weekend, they played in the Phoenix Women's Cup. They had some very high level competition in their Grande. If you want to talk a little bit about what you found out in a couple of streams
Yeah.
today.
They absolutely did. So I was watching RLCS and Squishy stream, and one of Squishy's viewers, and Justin was in there with Squishy, they asked Squishy and Justin who the best female Rocket League player is, and both of them, without hesitation, answered Courtney. And Courtney is who we drew round 1. I don't remember the name of her team. Maybe Kathleen can tell us.
Curiosity.
Curiosity, that's right.
Yeah.
But I think Courtney had been playing with Gingy's female team,
Yeah, yeah.
and she just recently got let go. So this is like her starting her own team. But yeah, she was really good.
Yeah, but then they
That's
dropped.
tough.
Yeah,
and
it was-
Justin said so too. they both were like, yeah, it's definitely Courtney. It wasn't even like they didn't even mention anybody else. I don't think.
yeah, and they ended up beating Gen G's team in lowers to advance to the top 4 for day 2. So
And they had day 2 today, right?
yeah, day 2. I don't know who ended up winning that. I can actually check.
Yeah, we should look that up. Actually, I'm kind of curious because it was Meatballs, Curiosity, Gen G, and then somebody else. It was another big org. I just don't remember who it was.
Could you imagine stepping into day 2 of a tournament, looking across the field, and seeing that you have to play a team named Meatballs? That would be
That's intimidating.
straight up fear. I mean, yeah.
Caffeine, we don't talk about the Curiosity series. Yeah, we'll never talk about it again. I just thought it was very interesting that both Squishy and Justin immediately like. You know,
G2 Stride Luna, that is their women's team, won 4-0 against Curiosity, which was the team we were just talking about. And then Rat Jam, who is a team I don't know, they 4-0'd Meatballs. And then G2 Stride Luna won 4-3 against Rat Jam in the finals.
So clearly Rat Jam had no problems with Meatballs, but that explains the whole Ratatouille movie scheme and everything, so...
Rat
Batched them.
Yeah, Caffeine, we'll never bring that up ever again. Alright,
We,
so
you
over,
guys
at
bounce
Storm
back
Syndicate, over at Storm Syndicate, we actually scrimmed the ladies team. And they were on, 200 ping over in North American servers, so... the fact that they had to play on that, they're getting more used to it. You know, they played really well, so definitely making some noise in the women's scene. It's awesome to see.
yeah, Isabel and Lara, I got them exit lag before the NA women's tournament, like the week of. So when they scrimmed you, they had like 200 and some ping, but like I think exit lag dropped them down to like 150, I think. So a little bit more playable, but definitely still bad.
The way that Rocket League servers have been lately, you don't even have to be in the region to experience lag. I've had private games, our private servers literally crash during scrims, during casts. I mean, just the servers are kind of hideous at the moment. It's really sad.
You actually got like logged out of comp games with me, Fox. How many was that the other night? Like just in the middle of the game, you just like
It was
lagged
tough.
out.
It DC'd me, and I mean, my internet's fine. Everything else is fine. It's just straight up connection to Rocket League servers. So it's tough.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
gonna do it.
Like that. So we're trying to fly through this one a little bit, chat. We're gonna try to like do this first one, and then kind of see how we can improve from this first podcast, obviously. So I feel like the next thing we're gonna transition into is LOS and Royalty Series, are two leagues that our community teams play in. So I'm gonna switch the screen up on your guys so the chat can see this. You guys won't be able to see our beautiful faces anymore. Oh, oops, so we got Discord up.
The stream quality has suddenly gone way up.
And then, so here we go. This is our tier 1 here. So Midwest Mafia Black. They are currently in second place, tied with Southeast Shooters. But Southeast Shooters had to forfeit. So Midwest Mafia will now be the number 1 team in tier 1, which is 1800 plus MMR. And
They also just won a tournament tonight.
yeah, yep.
They won a money tourney tonight.
Yep, they won the $25 Lemon Squeeze 3v3 tournament.
Why is there Southeast Shooters and Southeast Shooters 2? That's so
know.
uncreative. I feel like we could, I mean, you could always add a color or a different name, but just this 1 and 2 feels kind of weak for
Let me ask
Southeast.
you this: How do you feel being Southeast too?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I love the Southeast,
like,
but
we should get a different name.
Yeah, like, why can't we be like
Midwest Mafia 2, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so obviously Midwest Mafia Black, they 3-2 this close series here. Game 1 got pooped on. Game 2 regained. Game 3, close one here. It was V-Bell, Nate, and Typical playing this series. It's always a different lineup,
Oh, wow.
I feel like, for this team. 4-1 here. Typical popped off.
I did cast this series. Typical told me after the fact, he was like, I felt like my gameplay was me trolling, so Typical wasn't happy with it, and that's something you love to see from a competitor. Even though you get the win in the series, he's always wanting to improve, and that is like the mindset of probably everyone in Black.
Week
I don't
2.
know that I've ever talked to Typical and him being like, yeah, that played really well.
Week 2
Not
they
a
got
knock.
little 3-1,
Well, I
bro.
just think that he is always looking to improve.
This is the battle of the black teams here. New Age Esports Black versus Midwest Mafia Black. They took the first game, but this is week 2 here. Who played this one? V-Bell, Nate, and Typical again.
I feel like as great as Midwest Mafia Black is, I feel like they always have a little bit of trouble starting the series, but once they get going, I mean, it's almost curtains every time.
We'll transition now to Tier 3, which we have 2 teams in. We have Storm Syndicate, which is right here. They won their series 3-2. Let's take a peep at that one, this week 3 matchup.
We started off that series really well. Games 3 and 4 we won't talk about.
Looks like game right. We got a little Storm Syndicate insight, Fox, so you can just talk about it as I go through it. Like game 1, you guys fucked them up here 2-0, looks like, you know?
Yeah, the main thing in game 1 was defense. Look at our saves as a team there. We had 9 saves as a team.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and
They had one.
yeah, we had plenty of defense game 1. Game 2, we started to get the feel for it a little bit more. We had Jupiter, of course, being Jupiter, scoring goals. I didn't do a whole lot. I thank them for the carry in game 2. I started off the series well. I had the first goal, but game 2 was really the Ben and Jupiter show. Game 3 was a little bit rough. We definitely didn't have as much defense there, had some trouble goal scoring. We only generated 1 real quality chance, and that, of course, we did convert. But other than that, games 3 and 4 we kind of struggled with a little bit. But game 5 was that was the real show because in Game 5 we actually ended up going down 0-3 with about 2.5 minutes to go, and we've always been a late game team. And it was Ben putting in the first 2 goals, and then after that I was lucky enough to get the hat trick and win the series.
Hell yeah.
And yep, so even if you go down 3-0 in a series, never give up. Always fight until the very last moment, because you can put in goals in a hurry. All it takes is a bad kickoff. After you've scored 1 goal, you can put up 2 in short order. So, but yeah, Storm Syndicate, we got the dub. We're finally starting to reset after we had a bumpy road there for a while.
So we head back to Tier 3 now. We do have another team in Tier 3, Midwest Mafia Vendetta. Now, not all Midwest Mafia games are victorious here. As you can tell, Vendetta went to a Game 5 and unfortunately lost this series. So we can kind of see what happens here.
I thought Mudbugs was going to be the only one. I was like, oh, fuck, all these teams are winning.
This roster, I mean, it's so early into this roster's experience with each other. I feel like as they start to get a feel for each other's gameplay, because each player that I've personally played with and against, I've played with all 3 of those players, and their playstyle is incredibly unique, specifically to each other. So they're going to have a little bit of growing pains, I feel like, to getting used to each other's tendencies and being able to not only capitalize off of each other, but also sort of be that extra layer that you might need should one of your teammates make a mistake. It's always nice when you have someone to bail you out. So just give this roster a couple weeks.
I was going to say, I think this team has a ton of pop-off potential, though.
They played great defense right here, games 2 and 3. Didn't let up any goals.
All 3 of them super mechanical and also smart players. So,
not to mention, Inertia has a championship experience with AC, Midwest Mafia, or not Midwest Mafia, Noble Flight Crimson. Ended up just destroying Tier 3. I don't remember which season it was. It might have been 2, 1. I don't remember.
It was 0, actually. The season 0.
Was it 0? It might have been.
Yeah, it was Inertia, AC, and Orbit.
Inertia, AC, and Orbit. The unbeatable roster. Literally no one in that entire tier beat them.
And then it looks like right now, before the results of Week 3, it looks like Vendetta will be at 8th place and Storm Syndicate was in 10th place. So right there with each other. And I'm pretty sure top 16 will make playoffs. So they're both looking nice as of right now.
Be nice to be on different sides of the bracket. Don't want to have a Midwest Mafia playoff matchup. That would be tough.
Now here comes Grande. Grande's having that explaining to do here.
Let's see it.
Yeah, this was a tough week for the boys.
Here comes the Mudbugs in Tier 4 here.
Is fellow Mudbug Santi still in the chat, by the way?
I don't know. He might be sleepy. He's a sleepy boy. But
close game here, game 1.
This series was actually streamed on, I don't remember, it was New Age Gladiator streamer, and every single game was super close except for the last one, I think, if I remember correctly. The 3rd game, we actually went into a 5-minute, 45-second overtime and just barely lost. And so, for game 1 we lost, game 2 we won 3-1. Game 3 was the 5-minute, almost 6-minute overtime, and then game 4 we were a little bit defeated after the overtime. Not gonna lie, the overtime loss, but we're gonna bounce back. We'll be back.
On the D-Lo, looks like it was the streamer just to tie up that little loose end. Yep, on the D-Lo. When I saw D-Lo, I immediately thought of Deeb, our man 4D. Shout out 4Ds. But dude, if 40s was casting, could you imagine how wild that would be, getting 40s to cast?
That would be crazy.
There would be so much shit being talked about. The teams would be crazy. It would be so good.
And it looks like the Mudbugs are sitting at 12th, so that loss might put them down a little bit, put you guys down a little bit. But hey, you guys still got 3 more weeks to go. So
yeah, that's fine. And honestly, man, I'm taking the blame for this one. This week, I was playing like absolute dog water. I think that if all 3 of us are playing to our potential, I think that we can definitely win this division. At the very least, compete at the top of the division. The 2 people we've lost to, we played Nova Ninjas already, I think. Who's number 1 right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough team. I mean, they're good, but we have the potential to run the division. We just gotta get it in gear. We'll get there.
Before we go to tier 5, I almost forgot. We need to go to another tier 3. Was that this is 3? Oh yeah, well, GC3 or C3 to GC1. This is where Storm Syndicate is also playing at, and they won 3-0 this week against the Divine Esports.
So there's G&G Rose. I recognize them.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of teams in Royalty Series that we have played against. Team A&D is who Team Zenith used to be. That's the trio,
okay.
Bucky, Itachi, and I think they picked up a new third, Ducky. So
that's a good team. That Itachi
Bucky
kid
and
is
Ducky.
Jupiter
Now,
here.
they are a good team, but I do want to just say that Storm Syndicate lifetime against that team 3-1, including a grand final. So,
well, last
Just-
series
just
too,
saying.
y'all wiped them, right? Last time I
Yep.
played them.
yeah, we dropped one series, and that was, I think we're 4-1 actually, but we did drop one series. That was in Car Soccer City. Other than that, we've given them a hard time. That's for sure, which is good. We want to be competitive against some of the best.
Yeah, that's a really good team. That's a good split to have against them.
Another
So,
good team,
you
Team
guys
Ignition with Ruby and Flip Out Season.
You guys are 3-1.
Yep,
Unless
feels
you
good
guys-
to have some decent stuff going.
Hell yeah.
Decent record.
All right, now to tier 5, which is Tony still in the chat?
Cody probably ain't even here. Excuse me.
Godless, the man who has ads when nobody else does.
So Fox casted this match, and I'll give you guys a little insight on what happened here. So game 1, me and Yegi, we're going for the kickoff. We hear Godless say, "Oh shit." We're like, "What?" He's like, "My controller just died. I'm gonna back out and switch my controllers real quick." We said, "All right." So we thought it was gonna be real fast. So me and Yegi are 2v3ing, and it wasn't real fast. We could have restarted the series, but I don't know why. Me and Yegi were actually just having kind of fun. So we were just like, it is what it is. Whatever. We lose game 1, 2-1. Not a bad game. Okay, you see, 2-1. Okay. Game 2, Tony's back. All right, we win 1-0. It is what it is. All right, and we're like, okay, cool. Game 3, Tony's controller dies again. Other controller. So,
Jesus.
so me and Yegi, 2v3 once again. And going into game 4, we're like, all right, Tony, just charge your controller while we're waiting. And he's like, yeah. So he gives it on a minute. You know, you get the whole minute timer. And then we waited to ready up real quick. We waited for them to get impatient and join the team. Just wait for them to join. And then Tony turned his controller on, whatever. It dies again multiple times during the game.
You know what my favorite stat line looking at this is? Go back to game 3 real quick.
We have most demos.
Yeah, look at the demos. You could tell you were panicking. I can hear you just yelling, just demo them.
No, I would tell Yegi, I'd be like, all right, Yegi, so this is how we gotta play. One person goes for the ball. If you miss or just get it 50 feet away from you, demo second man on your way back. Dude, that's just what we gotta do, bro.
But what's funny is Godless is the one with the demos.
Yeah, he's the one that got him before he lagged out.
Yeah, the streamer of this series, who was following the rulebook, which he did read, which he was told to do, he asked if you guys wanted to remake in game 1, and you said nothing. You guys had about 50 seconds before you got scored on. That takes out the ability to remake the game once you get scored on, and I almost felt like that was a missed opportunity for you guys. That you really, once you figured out that Godless wasn't back soon enough, you should have taken it and been like, let's just restart and we'll start fresh.
I didn't see
just for him to pull another typical.
I didn't see you type it in the game chat, in the game lobby.
No, that's not why. It's because you're a man of honor.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all men of honor here at Midwest Mafia.
Alright, but we'll go back into the standings. I think we were in
Call this man typical. My controller.
We were in 9th place before that, so we'll probably drop to 13th, I'm assuming, or 15th or 16th, somewhere in there.
Oh, you got the Muffin Men in there.
Yeah, bro. Squishy's little brothers. And then we'll head over to our 2v2 team here in Tier 3. It's the highest tiers for 2v2 right now because there's no Tier 2 or 1 for 2v2. Not enough teams signed up. So Tier 3 is the highest tier. And I don't know what this stat line is, but it's 1-0.
Okay. Are they
Still
playing it,
verifying
like,
as well.
right now?
Game 4 is all we got. And there's not even
Sounds
no
like
stat.
someone didn't
It's
say
all
Andrew.
Andrew.
All right,
Not the Andrew.
Manager Tony.
Shout out to the homie Andrew.
Manager Tony.
I think
needs to
that's his
get on
brother
that.
too, right?
I have no
Hunter's
idea.
his brother? I think so. Hunter's a good dude. If it is his
Pyro
brother.
and Tony recruited them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Andrew's the homie.
Leave it to a Pyro recruited team that's having trouble with stats.
And then
Who
now
would've thought
they're
it?
in 5th place, so that's cool.
I'm assuming everybody's gonna make it.
In that tier, yeah, it'll be everybody.
Yeah.
And here's what the
That's
moment you
crazy
guys
they're
all been
tier
waiting
3.
for. The drop shot team.
Oh. Man, we are dominating this
The
league.
wrecking balls.
Let's go.
We all played this week except for Tokyo because we had to play during the week.
Yeah. And I set out because I am a man of honor.
Yeah. And I didn't even do good. You had like the best stats too. Other than you scoring, you had the most shots.
Damn.
My homies are demoing and drop shot.
Yeah,
You guys
bro.
really are wrecking balls.
Bro, we're rats. We are rats.
I got 2 goals, bro. I just sat back this game, bro. I only got 18 shots, and I scored 2 goals. I only sat back when I only came up when I needed to, because typical was just everywhere.
76 shots for inertia. What the heck am I looking at?
Yeah, he won. So here, let
They
me
count it.
go
They
back
count
to week
hitting
2.
the floor as a shot.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
gotta hit the ball at the floor as a shot.
Look at inertia's stats for week.
Yeah, inertia stats week 2 are wild.
Yeah.
That's where we should have added that clip in, dude.
Look
I
how
had the
many
clip of
shots
my
we
life.
have. We have 469 shots.
Oh my lord.
Inertia had 253 total.
At 140.
That is wild, but we do
60.
have an ad break. We don't know how many people
Oh,
can
no.
see what's going on right now.
All right, we'll just keep it here.
But we can, yeah, we'll keep going. Eat up some time. This is a minute ad break. Imagine having ad breaks during a podcast. That's tough. But you got to pay the bills somehow.
Rip poor people like me. I'm gonna watch this Nissan ad right now.
What you might lack in
Look,
terms
yeah.
of wealth, Grande, you make up for in your heart.
Dude, just subscribe if you
Thank
guys
you.
don't want ads, bro.
Honestly, dude, the Nissan Rogue, man, it looks like a pretty solid car.
Frankie, chill, kitty.
How am I going to see the official fitness partner of in the NBA if I subscribe, though?
That's very true.
Yeah. Yeah, how else is the Navy and the Marines gonna recruit me, Citrus?
We need a Midwest Mafia commercial. Wonder what would go into a Midwest Mafia commercial. Get some cornfield action going. Get a Rocket League car tearing through the corn with stalks flying everywhere.
And we have Dylan like hyping us up.
I will go take my
Like,
Jeep and drive it through a cornfield if you can edit it and make it look like a fennec somehow.
Yeah, Dylan as a spokesperson is either going to be a huge W or it's going to be the downfall of the org. Like, there is no in
Dude,
between.
it's a big dub. It's a big dub. And I think what we do is we have like Dylan in a suit and he's like walking in a like poorly lit basketball court, you know, and he's like hyping up Midwest Mafia as like the camera is panning with him.
If
Is the
Dylan's still in the
ad
chat, I want to see this. I want to see Dylan get a Midwest Mafia tattoo. Somewhere that he can't somewhere he can't
Oh my
actively show, like out in
That's
public. I want to
magic.
see this.
Imagine. He's not even old enough to get a tattoo, is he?
I don't know, but fun story about Dylan is that he's getting a new used PC, and once he gets a new PC and he can play Rocket League on decent graphics, this man is he's gonna hit SSL and stay there. I mean,
That's such a scary thought, dude, that he's playing on like an ancient computer right now, and he still is like a solid starter for Black.
I don't even know if his computer could toast toaster strudel. It has the same like processing as a toaster, but I don't know if it has the heating capacity to toast it. We'll have to see.
There's vaping over here. You guys don't sell vaping.
Yes. I'm never gonna stop.
I'm being smoking. And speaking of smoking hot things, we could talk about what happened in the RLCS this week and the surprise that came into the top 4 this week for NA RLCS.
Yeah, bro, the snowmen, that shit was wild.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
No.
What do you feel about that, Grande? How do you what's your honest reaction to that? Like, how when you saw that, like when you were watching Saturday, and you, because I know you were watching Saturday, like what were you thinking, like when they were making this run?
I was watching all day, man. And you know what I legitimately thought was like, this team is really good and deserves to be here. Like, the way in which they were winning and the fact that they did it going through Gen G, I think speaks volumes to them. Granted, it was like, you know, Gen G not at their best, as we saw today, because Gen G ends up winning the finals. But I think that in terms of up-and-coming potential in North America, I think that both Scribbles and Frosty are like about it, honestly. I think that those two kids are probably going forward, probably going to represent North America. I mean, obviously you have Daniel, Beast Mode, and all of those young dudes, but I think I was watching, like I said, I was watching Squishy's stream, and they were talking about how the average age is like 18 for that team. So it's a bunch of young kids for Snowmen. It might be younger than that.
Snowmen is 2 16-year-olds and a 14-year-old.
Oh shit! Okay, that's crazy. That's even crazier.
Yeah, it's like 15 average.
I thought they said reveal was 18. This is just chat though. I was just looking at chat.
Well, I'm getting my information from the #1 Jupiter fan, Asterion. So, because he wanted us to talk about the Snowman, and he was like, you know, what do we think that 2 16-year-olds and a 14-year-old, how we think that their RLCS career would be in the future, and how they feel getting top 4.
I mean, that's got to do wonders for their confidence, right? Like, the fact that they made top 4, the fact that they were super competitive within that top 4, and that they beat in Swiss the team that ended up winning the grand finals. Like, I don't know. I think an org is going to pick them up pretty soon.
Out of 646 teams in North America, to be top 4, that's impressive. That is really good. And the fact that you can be top 4 and you need parental consent for everything, I mean, homies can't even hardly drive yet. But yet they're out here dominating RLCS. They can drive virtual cars, but they need to wait a little bit to drive the real thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate to be like the Debbie Downer of size, but this is the take everybody wants to hear. You know, like, fucking, not everybody wants to hear, but like, this is the take.
Are you the T-Bates? Are you C-Bates?
So this is what happened, bro. I'm Citrus, bro.
T-Bates is wild.
So this is what, you know, like, Abjack said in an interview, he was like, you know, we're just not playing our best because we just got done playing in a LAN that means way more than what the fuck this open qualifier means. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, like, they obviously weren't playing at their best and weren't locked in, and then you got teams like Snowmen who are locked the fuck in, trying to make a statement, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, we talked about this earlier, fucking, I just think, you know, the top teams were sleeping, that's for sure, and a couple teams kind of exposed them while they were sleeping.
I mean,
well, at the same time, sorry, go ahead, Grande.
Sorry. I think that's more for Swiss though in quals, right? Like, yeah. I don't think that applies to the actual regional itself, right? Like, I mean, I know the reason we talked about it is because Vitality and Zen had such a tough time today. Their first game against, man, I wish I could pronounce it. Neander. I'll just call him Neander or whatever.
It's Neanderthals, ain't it?
Yeah. It's not Neanderthals. It's some German word like Neander Schwitzel or something.
Neander Schwitzel.
I don't know what it is. But the first game, the Vitality lost. Like I was watching it 9-1, and then afterwards they just came out and they mollywopped them games 2, 3, and 4. But I think you can attribute that to like, you know, the kind of land hiccups or whatever. Like there's definitely hungrier teams out there, but I think when you're actually in the regional, I don't know that applies.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah. You make a good point there, my guy.
I think another thing is that Appjack is just such a good leader that if he sees that his team is playing down at any point, such as, you know, letting a team like Snowmen perhaps take some games off them, he's going to speak up about it. I don't think it devalues what Snowmen did at all, but Appjack, he's definitely someone who enjoys perfection on his team. He tries to propel everybody forward as much as they can.
Dude, I actually tweeted that today. I tweeted that after the Abjack interview, how good of a leader he is, because he's always just like taking the blame and the burden, you know, upon himself. He's like, oh, I played horrible. And even after they won today, he was like, oh, there was, you know, 2 or 3 shots that I could have had that I missed. I'm happy that we ended up pulling it through. But I never hear him talking bad about anybody, any one of his teammates.
So the team that Vitality played, I looked it up while we were talking. It's Nordschleife is what it's called. It translates to North Loop in English. So that's just the North Loop.
Oh, God.
LOOP, North Loop.
I'll stick with Neanderschnitzel.
Neanderschnitzel. Nordschleife taken out. I mean, how does that feel? The defending world champions. You go up against them on the pitch, and yeah, you know, they've had their struggles, this split Team Vitality have, but like, how would that feel to go up against that? They also made top 8 in the recent major, and to 6-1 them off the bat, you know, what does that do for your confidence? Does that give you too much energy, you think, going into the next game? Like, holy shit, we can actually beat Vitality, and then Vitality wakes up and you end up getting dominated the rest of the series.
It's like poking the fucking bear almost, you know what I mean? Like, how much can I get away with before it wakes up?
Yeah.
The Northern Loop, that's just what I'm going to call them, because I will never remember how to pronounce their name. But the Northern Loop, they have one of their players, Dom, who's like really good ones. Like, he plays Moxie on Fear Stream pretty often, and the kid is really good. So I imagine he probably has the composure. I just think EU is that deep, man, honestly. Even though I watched that series and like games 2, 3, and 4 weren't really that close, it felt a little bit closer in game 2. Game 1 was crazy, but that Dom kid is really good.
When you speak about EU being deep, I mean, the recent major, you had Gentlemates, the number 4 EU seed. Everyone went crazy thinking, oh, the number 4 EU, they beat number 1 NA, but the problem with that is that they also beat the number 1 EU, so the fact that you have four legitimate contenders in EU, whereas G2 is the only one that's really kind of broken through that top 8 curse that NA has had of recent times, you know, that does speak that EU has gotten deeper. But on the other hand, you've also got regions like MENA. I mean, MENA, they had a mean performance in this recent. I mean, they were a game away from taking out K-Corp, the Falcons were. And South America, the Furia bringing the Furiosas there, that was pretty cool. A lot of people like, what the hell are these drums and stuff? But you had the Blue Wall and you had the Vitality squad at Worlds last year. So
coming out of nowhere, though, bro.
Furiosa was good.
Yeah, dude. I was actually going to comment on that. I watched those games today too. Team Secret actually beat Complexity to get to the grand finals.
Yeah,
and I think they're actually in the running now for the next regional. In terms of taking like that second spot. And the same thing happened in MENA too, right? I think Rule 1 ended up not making it to the grand finals. Was it Twisted Minds that made it? I could be wrong. I didn't get to watch those because they were at like 4 in the morning or something. I don't know. Maybe you could look it up, Fox. But I think
I will stat check while you talk. Yes.
Okay. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Rule 1 got knocked out either pretty early or in the semifinals today.
Rule 1 got knocked out.
It got knocked out by R8 Esports in quarterfinals. Yeah.
Quarters,
yeah. Okay, so yeah, and then it was Twisted Minds that played in the finals today against Falcons?
Yeah, they only lost by a game. They got 4-3.
Yeah, dude, and Twisted Minds looks really good too. That's a really good squad. I'm interested to see what happens with that because I think Nupo has the potential to be one of the best players in the world. And obviously, Ahmad isn't playing with them anymore. Ahmad retired before this before this split. So I don't know who their third is. I think Khaled's still playing with them.
Fun
but
fact:
Nupo,
the Twisted Minds has an Ahmad on the roster, but different person.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be 2 other teams representing MENA in South America. I think it'll be Furia, Team Secret, and then Falcons, and probably Twisted Minds would be my guess.
That's cool. We need to get more exposure on some of these lower regions. Sorry, Citrus, but I feel like more streams and more exposures on these lower regions. I don't think that Epic needs to have the EU NA bias anymore because the other regions are starting to really show up.
Yeah. Well, here's the real question I have for y'all. What do you think about all of these EU teams that are having troubles making it to like day 3, going over to SSA? Because I think there's like 3 or 4 of them, like confirmed EU teams that are now playing in SSA, that are kind of dominating that region. Do you think it's good for the sport because they're playing SSA? It's playing better competition, or do you think it's bad because there's not an actual SSA representation?
Rocket League kind of did it to itself, bro, because they let it's in the rule book now. You can play from any region in any region. You know what I mean? Like, so they kind of did it to themselves. If you look at the top 16, I'm looking at the top 16 for SSA right now. There's a team. It's the coach. Never mind. There's a lot of teams that are like.
There's a lot of EU teams.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, with Limitless, they lost in the quarterfinal of this regional, and after pretty much dominating the region themselves, it would be pretty tough to be a team that's kind of done it the right way. You've come up through the region, even though it's kind of struggled based on skill, based on viewership, based on popularity, all that stuff. When you come up through the region and you earn yourself the number 1 spot, that right there speaks volumes for a team. Whereas you go into another region that perhaps has more resources, more players, and it's a higher skill set, then you go into another region. Feels like that's just smurfing, which smurfing in ranked has been a big problem. I feel like if you're too scared to improve and play the players that you're really at the position you should be playing, like if you want to win every game of Rocket League, that's fine, but to me, you don't improve that much if you win every game, because I personally learn more from a loss and I get more hunger to improve from a loss. So I think, in just my opinion, that it's kind of cowardly to go over to another region like that. You should be able to try and make a name for yourself in the region that you started in.
I agree with that. I think honestly, it's you can see it from both sides, right? Like I also think, just to play devil's advocate here, I think that region's going to be made better by playing better competition. I mean, you have regions like OCE who are just for the most part, going into Worlds or going into Majors and getting bounced out day 1, whatever it is. And I feel like that's because the limit with which they're competing against other teams, like the ceiling is so low there, right? So I think as you increase that ceiling, that players within that region are going to have to adapt and are going to have to play better. So I kind of see both sides of it, but I do agree with both of you in that it's Rocket League's fault. I mean, they're the ones that opened the floodgate for it, and also that it is. I don't want to use the word cowardly, but it is kind of, I don't know what the word I would use is, maybe like cheap. It's like cheap of these teams who don't want to compete against the best teams.
Instead of investing, I feel like instead of investing money in the region, they're just letting anybody like play in the region, you know what I mean, to make the region grow, instead of investing like the resources in getting it, like, I don't know how to, like, to get more, I don't know, like, fucking to improve like the college scene and the high school scene in those countries, you know what I mean, to make the game grow. They're not doing that, but instead they're just like, yeah, anybody can just come play over here from any region, is basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
Doing something like funding schools enough to have, I mean, even just a small computer lab. You don't need super powerful PCs,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
get the kids like somewhere that they can play, somewhere that they can escape. Because talent can come from literally anywhere. You see it in professional sports. There's no reason that you couldn't see it in esports as well. You need
I
some
agree.
more development. Like, invest some money. Don't be afraid. I mean, Epic has Fortnite, which has been wildly successful, sure, but I mean, Rocket League has all the potential to be a major esport. And some of the major events, the personalities you have, like you have the Staxes, you got the Jorbies, you've got the talent and you've got the production skill to make this esport really, truly something special. But they got to be able to update the game to appeal to the player base, and they got to make sure that their player base keeps expanding. You don't want to peak and start going down, because that's not how the game grows.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they genuinely care about
They
growing the game.
They don't care at all.
Granted, it has been better lately. I think that they've been making some moves in the right direction, but if I had to put my money on it, I would say that they're pretty much focused on Fortnite.
It's just like, why hasn't this game been put on Unreal Engine yet? You know what I mean? Like why hasn't it been put on the new one? Like,
I think the physics behind it is probably what's stopping it, would be my guess.
I think what's stopping him is the players that play on Steam currently. They won't, like, if they put like if it's like a new type of like basically a new game, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be unless they redrop it on Steam. It's not gonna be on Steam. You know what I mean?
I don't think Epic gives a fuck about Steam. If I'm being
I
honest
don't know,
with
but
you.
there's so many. Like, look at all the pros. They're all playing on Steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
All the OGs have a Steam account. I have a Steam account. I have
Yeah.
2 Steam accounts, actually. So,
that's just
and
always
shout
my
out to
opinion.
Caffeine in the chat, by the way. Caffeine with the last 6 straight chats after Santi dipped.
Caffeine.
Yeah, Caffeine W interaction, calling the movement into other regions cowardly. So shout out Caffeine for sticking around, enjoying the podcast.
So, to give an example, though, of like what I was talking about earlier, and you guys are way too young for this, but in the 90s, when they allowed NBA players to play in the Olympics and the Dream Team went over there and just absolutely beat up on everyone, I feel like the world fell in love with the Chicago Bulls and fell in love with the game of basketball. And now we have, the NBA dominated by 2 European players. I mean, not just 2, but the top 2 players, you could argue, are, both European.
Yeah, you're talking about Giannis and Jokic, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, 3. Giannis, Jokic, and Luka Doncic. I mean, all those guys are, European. And I think that introducing a different and higher level of competition will only increase the level of gameplay in that region. Though it is cowardly and it is kind of taking the easy route, so to speak, but I think in the long run, it's probably going to help that region out more than if they weren't playing those guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not an NBA guy, so I don't really. Basketball is something I really struggled to get into, especially since I think it was back when I was in high school. I was very big into football because I played and I loved to watch football and everything. Watched some NBA games, and of the NBA Finals, it took literally 37 minutes to play 2 minutes of gameplay in the finals. Like 37 minutes to play two in-game minutes is wild to me, and that kind of made me lose interest in the NBA. But that's just me again, but still.
Yeah. And it's honestly, I'm reaching with that comparison, but
Caffeine said,
that's what I was talking about.
Caffeine said in chat, I have some game developer experience. UE3 is what RL is on right now. It's very outdated, dated, and certain things in UE3 don't exist in Unreal Engine 5. That would make it very hard to transfer it 1-to-1. Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Yeah, making hype chamber stuff, I learned firsthand that UE3 is way behind UE5. I mean, it's even way behind UE4, honestly. So, yeah, to make Rocket League UE5, they would probably need a lot of development and a lot of resources and desire to do that. And Epic Games, I don't think, has the desire for Rocket League because of Fortnite. I think you've got kind of like the ugly stepchild syndrome going, where Rocket League's like, yeah, you're here, and like, yeah, we care, but honestly, your sister's way better.
What is?
Yeah.
Is there a stat online? I'm gonna try to look it up, or if anybody knows where to look it up, dude, that you could find like the daily player base, like the daily player, like how many people play Rocket League daily? Like, is that like a easily stat found?
No, I don't. I think it's a tough stat to find because they no longer count Steam. Like you can, I think you could probably look up the Epic player count, and then you just have to add it with the Steam player count if you can find the Steam one.
Well, the Steam one currently, last 30 days, the average players per day is 19,658.
You know what's hilarious? For the active players, so Steam one, and then you got to look up the Epic one too. But what would be hilarious is to look up the last 30 days, how many people are playing the Rocket League Fortnite thing, Rocket Racing.
That shit's shit. Though.
Trading
that
died so
fun,
that
dude.
trading died so that Rocket Racing could run.
Online players that averaged says for 1 hour it is 290,026, which is not even in the top 10 of games in over the last 30 days. I can give you one guess as to what the top most player based game is the last 30 days. Yep, Citrus got it. Number 2, Counter-Strike 2.
And then Valorant's probably up there.
League of Legends 3, Overwatch 2, 4, and then Valorant's number 5. Then
That's
after that, you got
crazy.
Starfield, you got Genshin Impact, you got Helldivers 2, Roblox, and Call of Duty Warzone that are all above Rocket League in terms of players.
Warzone's only because it's brand new. Warzone, Helldivers, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, Helldivers is a good game. Helldivers might be the only good game in all of those they named off, to be honest with you, at least in my opinion. It's crazy to me that Overwatch 2 is still 4th.
Yeah.
It's such a dodgy game.
I hate that game.
It's just Overwatch 1.
While I've got the stats up, Rocket League back in November of 2023, in 1 month, they lost 8.4 million players in November.
Is that when trading got taken away?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's when the trade deadline was in November. I think. I don't remember.
December 5th, I remember.
I bet that's when it was announced was in November, and
Yeah.
people they probably traded and left the game.
Yep.
And then since then, it has grown. There was a small loss. I say small, but 1.4 million players in January. He gained all those back in February. And then the last 30 days, we've gained 2.5 million players. So, updates like the boost, I guess, and the fact that you've got majors being streamed on Twitch, that's probably bringing players to the game.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. So we're back on an upward, especially with, I feel like I want to see where we're at now compared to where it's going to be at after Worlds. Like, I want to see those two numbers.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, it peaks every time around
a major
summertime. So it peaked back in July of 2021. It peaked again in July of 2023. And, summertime probably when a lot of your player base are maybe not in school. Maybe that helps a little bit as well. The fact you can have high school level kids in the top 4 in a major in NA,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to go study some geometry and then come home and dominate an esport.
And it always seems like people who work a lot are always more free in the summertime too. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's when more people get time to play as well.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I love this game, and I think the people that play it love it, who've stuck around. So I think you're always going to have a core fan base. It's just it'll be interesting to see going forward how it does. If they have another 5-month or 6-month break between RLCS events, I think that will kill the game.
Oh, 100%. I think they were just trying to get the new implementation of the new shit set up so it runs smoothly in like a yearly schedule. You know what I mean?
Rocket Racing, let's go. Something that Caffeine in the chat does not like.
I think they want like the season to end in 1 year. Like end it in September and start it in January. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. They're gonna. Worlds is in September again. So when are they gonna start it? In January? It's gonna be a 3-month break again.
Santi, I am the Helldiver.
He is the Helldiver.
We get Santi on here to talk about Helldiver.
All right, chat. We hit that hour mark. I think anybody has some more closing remarks? Grande, Fox.
Thank you for attending if you're still here and if you're in the chat.
Yeah,
Shout out
thanks
Santi
for hanging
Caffeine.
out. Yeah, Caffeine was great. Santi was here, and everybody else who showed up. You know, it was fun. And like you said, Rocket League has a lot of people that love it. I personally am very much attached to Rocket League. I would not be here if it wasn't for Rocket League, because I never would have met Jupiter, never would have met Ben. Those were the starting two, and then Jupiter knew Inertia, who knew Nola Flight, and that's how I got associated with them, and you guys, and everything else. And then it was Nebulon 5000 who casted us on Rocket League. They got me into casting, so that started my casting career. So, you know, Rocket League, it means a lot, and it's frustrating to see some of the recent updates, but that's what keeps us all together. It's what has made us a family. So shout out Rocket League, shout out the family. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll try and make this podcast bigger and better moving forward for everybody.
Hopefully going forward it'll be a Fox production, so it'll be way better than Citrus production. And
Hey, shout out Citrus, bro. Shout out you, dude. I think you did a great job for putting this together. Like, 30 minutes before we were gonna go on. It looks great, man.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job. He helped me because my internet is awful today. I still don't know what happened. I streamed a game of Rocket League before this, and it was so behind. It was so frustrating. Have no idea, but I'll try and get that fixed.
All right, chat. I think we're gonna pop out of here. Everybody, be on the lookout tomorrow for an announcement. I'm gonna make a Midwest Mafia YouTube, and I'm gonna post this VOD on there. I'm gonna figure out how to do all that. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm sure there's a way I can just download this, and yeah. So be on the lookout for that. Everybody, go subscribe to that when you see the notification, please. And thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate Grande and Fox for spending an hour with me, a little bit more, to get this set up together. And yeah, it'll be better next time, that's for sure. And much love.
Peace.
Peace.